Hours earlier, the sun had risen like a blade over the red cliffs, slicing through the fog that haunted the canyon. Jacob Redin, a lone cowboy known for his silence and accuracy with a Colt, rode into Apache land with one mule, a saddlebag of quinine, and a promise. He'd made it to a dying trader, who had begged him with his last breaths, "Give this to the chief's child, or her death will curse every soul in this valley." Redin didn't believe in curses, but he believed in debts. So, he rode into the Forbidden Valley, knowing full well it could cost him his life. By midday, he found them, 4 women around a child who couldn't have been more than 10, her body trembling from fever. Her lips were cracked, eyes unfocused. The eldest sister, a tall woman with a hawk's gaze, held a knife as he approached. "You step no closer, white man." Redin slowly raised his hands. "Brought medicine. I ain't lookin' for trouble." She glared at him, but the youngest's cough was raw, desperate. The second sister, smaller and softer in tone, whispered something to the eldest. The eldest hesitated, then nodded sharply. "If you lie, I'll cut your throat before you can draw your iron." "Fair deal," Redin muttered. He knelt beside the girl, poured the quinine, and waited. For hours, they watched him. His hands were gentle but sure, the same steadiness that had once made him a feared gun in the Colorado Range Wars. By dusk, the child's breathing steadied. "She's gone alive," he said quietly. The youngest, still weak, opened her eyes and whispered, "You're kind, cowboy." That's when the drums began. Dash dash dash. They came from the cliffs, dozens of Apache warriors, faces painted black and red. Spears glinted under the sunset. Redin's horse reared and screamed. The eldest sister stepped forward, shouting in her tongue. Redin couldn't understand the words, but the meaning became clear when the warriors lowered their weapons and formed a circle around him. The chief, an old man with feathers braided into his gray hair, approached. His voice rolled like distant thunder. "My daughter lives," he said in broken English. "You saved her." "I did what anyone would," Redin replied. The chief's gaze hardened. "Not anyone. You risked death. You entered sacred ground. You spilled no blood, only gave life. So you are chosen." "Chosen for what?" Redin asked warily. The eldest sister looked at him, expression unreadable. "By sacred law, you must marry all 4 daughters." Redin laughed once, thinking it was absurd. No one else laughed. "I reckon I'm not the Marian type," he said carefully. The chief's eyes narrowed. "Refusal dishonors the tribe. Dishonor means death." The second sister stepped closer, her tone soft but firm. "You are bound, cowboy. The youngest bears your life in her breath now. If she dies, so do you. The law ties our spirits." Redin's fingers twitched near his gun belt, but he didn't draw. He'd faced death before, but not like this. "I don't belong here," he muttered. The eldest raised her chin. "Then you belong nowhere." Dash dash dash. That night, under the blood-red glow of the setting sun, they led him to a circle of firelight. Chanting rose from the cliffs, low and rhythmic. Shadows danced like spirits. Each sister stepped forward one by one. The eldest, Talaka, fierce as a desert hawk, pressed her hand to his chest. "You'll never lie to me," she said. The second, Naya, with eyes like soft rain, whispered, "You'll never turn from those in need." The third, Sinta, young and curious, added, "You'll ride where the wind sends you, but your heart returns to us." And the youngest, the one he'd saved, Leah, touched his hand. "You'll protect us, always." Redin swallowed hard. "Ladies, I think there's been a mistake." But the chanting grew louder, drowning his protest. A circle of smoke and fire closed in. The chief raised his staff and shouted words older than time. When it was done, they stood together in silence, the flames dying around them. "You are one of us now," Talaka said. Dash dash dash. The days that followed were strange. Redin worked alongside the tribe, fixing fences, mending gear, helping herd horses. The people watched him, whispering about the ghost cowboy who had taken 4 wives by fate. He tried to ride away once, only once. The moment his horse crossed the canyon ridge, pain ripped through his chest. His vision darkened. He turned back, gasping, and the pain vanished. Leah stood at the canyon's edge, watching him. "See," she said softly. "The bond is real." After that, he stayed. Each sister was different. Talaka challenged him, often testing his patience. Naya cooked for him, sang low songs in the night that reminded him of things he'd lost long ago. Cinta followed him like a shadow, asking endless questions about the outside world. And Leah, young, quiet Leah, never spoke much, but every time she looked at him, he felt something stir that he couldn't name. Still, he felt like a ghost in borrowed skin. Until the day the bounty hunters came. It was dawn when the gunshots cracked through the valley. Redin woke to the sound of hooves and screams. 5 men rode in fast, dust clouds trailing behind. Redin. One shouted, "You can't hide out here, boy. Sheriff wants you hanging for killin', that ranch boss." Redin's stomach turned cold. That name, the one he'd buried with the blood in Colorado, had found him. He grabbed his rifle and stepped outside. The sisters were already armed, bows drawn, faces streaked with ash. "Who are they?" Talaka demanded. "Trouble," he said. The bounty hunters opened fire. Arrows answered from the cliffs. The air turned to thunder and smoke. One of the men fell, a shaft through his throat. Another's horse went down screaming. Redin fought like a storm, his rifle cracking shot after shot. But there were too many. One bullet grazed his shoulder, another shattered a post beside Naya. Leah screamed. He saw a hunter aiming for her, and without thinking, threw himself in the way. The bullet tore through his side. He fell. "Jacob!" Naya cried, rushing to him. Blood soaked the dirt beneath his hand. The hunters turned tail and fled, seeing the wrath of the tribe rise behind them. But Redin barely heard. His breath was shallow, his eyes fixed on the sky. Leah knelt beside him, trembling. "You saved me again," she whispered. Redin smiled weakly. "Guess. I ain't learnin' from mistakes." Talaka pressed her hands over the wound, chanting words he didn't understand. Naya's tears fell like rain. Cinta's small hands clung to his arm. And then, light. Not from the fire, but from their joined hands. A strange warmth spread through his body, chasing away the pain. His heartbeat steadied. The bleeding stopped. He gasped, and realized he was alive. The 4 sisters looked down at him, their faces calm, otherworldly. "The bond protects its own," Talaka said softly. "As long as one breathes, you cannot die." Redin stared at them in awe. What are you?" "Your wives," Naya said simply. "By law, by spirit, by choice now." Weeks later, travelers passing through the valley told strange stories. They said a white cowboy rode among the Apaches, silent, guarded by 4 women who never left his side. They said he could not die, that bullets would not claim him, nor the desert break him. Some swore they saw him standing at night on the cliffs, watching the horizon with haunted eyes, 4 shadows behind him, whispering in the wind. And if you rode close enough, you could hear him murmur into the dusk. "I came to save 1 life, and lost mine to 4. The wind carried his words across the canyon, and the people whispered a name that echoed long after he was gone. The man who married fire, rain, wind, and earth. Because in the heart of the Wild West, where men fought for gold and glory, one cowboy found something rarer than either. A destiny he never asked for, and love that refused to let him die."